What's going on, everybody? I hope you're having an amazing day. Hope you had an amazing week like always. You can follow me on Instagram if you would like at DreamRare. That's at DreamRare. Also, I'm selling shirts now at dreamrare.com, the same as my Instagram. DreamRare on Instagram and dreamrare.com for some good shirts. I have some new designs coming out next week. I'm going to wait about 10 to 30 seconds for people to get into the live stream. And I just want to talk about why I'm not watching the Golden Globes today and why I don't really watch any award shows now. I never really did, but especially now, I think they've kind of lost all their luster. They've lost all their meaning, and basically the entertainment value is just so down the tubes, as is a lot of things that we once loved, that celebrities and politicians and the media culture that just doesn't seem to understand not only American life, but the entire world basically, and just common sense and reality. All of these things that are very important to, any decent, basic human being. They pretty much ruined everything. So why I won't be watching the Golden Globes. Thank you guys for coming in. I'm going to wait about 10 more seconds. And if you'd like, you can follow me on Twitter at Legendary Energy, Instagram at dreamrare.com, and also, dreamrare.com is the shirts. And I'm going to put my email list below. If you haven't signed up yet, sign up because I'm going to send out an email next week. So first off, I want to start, before I get into politically, and this is very important, whether people agree, disagree, Green Party, Democrat, Progressive, whatever, I think this is worth a listen all the way through. First reason, though, before I even get into politically why I'm not watching the Golden Globes, and of course, it shouldn't be about politics, but they're a whole one-sided echo chamber of complete hypocrites. But I'm not really, to be honest, I don't judge people who are, because we all have our own forms of entertainment. I'm not a big fan of television and movies, to be honest. It's nice to relax and unwind sometimes, but I find that it's a lot of time wasted in watching a bunch of shows and movies, and I'm just not a big fan. I don't even own a television myself here personally, and I hate the commercials especially, more so than the programming, which is named television programming for a reason, because they program your mind to think a certain way in many cases. The commercials are horrible. You watch a show, you laugh, you cry, you do the things, and then they try to sell you pharmacy pills. They try to sell you lawyers. They almost make you sick with their disgusting ads, and then those same people act like they have the moral and social high ground in any sort of form. They don't. But when it comes to the Golden Globe and all these actors, and they get up there, they have these grandiose statements about their political values and views. And here's something that I want to say before I even get into this whole diatribe. I don't understand, and I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, I don't have a certain title. You could try to give me a title because you can't understand me, be like, oh, Anomaly, you must be this because you don't sound like I do. I'm not. You could try. But I don't understand why 90-something% of celebrities are Democrats and none of them are libertarians or Republicans, because when it comes to the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, if you take out all the identity politics, for those of you who don't know what identity politics means, it means race, religion, gender. And that's basically what I found out paying attention more this year, is that's the whole Democratic Party's game. They use women, they use people of color, they use Latinos, black people, white people who are kind of like hipsters or hippies like me and love the environment and love people. They use our emotions and they say, oh, race, religion, gender, race, religion, gender, race, religion, gender, to kind of suck people in. But when you take out the identity politics from the two parties, besides the fact before President Trump came in and just broke the door, he's a revolutionary person who's really not tied down to the pharmacy industries and the military-industrial complex. When you take out the identity politics from the two parties, even when it was a bunch of phonies like the John McCains and the Mitt Romneys and whatnot, the big difference that I see outside of all of the hoopla and the media attention and the look what Roy Moore did, look what he did, is Democrats like to tax people more. They raise the taxes, especially on celebrities and people who make over $1 million a year. Even Dave Chappelle admitted in his comedy special a couple months ago, he said, something crazy happened when Obama won. My taxes went up. So Democrats tax more, especially the wealthy. They tax a lot more. So I don't understand why there's no celebrities that support President Trump. I don't understand why there's no celebrities that are Republican over Democrats, because the Democrats raise your taxes. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. And if you really think And the irony of all this, before I even get into that, is everyone will say the government's corrupt, the government's corrupt, the government's corrupt. I don't like Trump. I don't like George Bush. I don't like anyone. The government's corrupt. The government's corrupt. Yeah, okay, totally. So do you want to give more taxes to the government? No. Well, then why are you a Democrat? Because Democrats raise taxes. The progressive liberals want to raise taxes even higher. Even when I disagreed with a lot of Republican values, I always never thought they taxed a lot. Like the media's like, they're trying to tax it. No, they never were like that. I even knew that 10 years ago. Even when I didn't agree with the Republicans, my thought process was, well, they're taxing people more and they're giving rich people more money. But if I'm a celebrity, if I'm better than Trump, I'm better than the federal government type of celebrity like you see. I mean, they're hypocrites in every way, shape, and form. That's why, I have almost 700 people watching now, and there's millions of people who are tuning out of the Golden Globes today because they're a bunch of hypocrites. If you think you're better than the government and President Trump, which I don't doubt that you are, why wouldn't you want more of your tax money back? And then you could use those hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to then start an organization or fund a charity or take your money and give cash. You could give cash to middle-class families. You could give cash to underprivileged families, the one that you always grandstand about and say, oh man, the government's not helping enough. Why do you want to give your money to the government that we all know is going to mishandle the funds? You have that extra money now. Every celebrity, if you combine all the Trump-hating celebrities and all the Democrat celebrities, which is nearly all of them, except for like Tim Allen, and Tim Allen can't even speak out. I think Riff Raff likes President Trump, but he's a hip-hop artist. He doesn't want to say it because he's going to lose half his fan base by saying, because he doesn't like taxes. He's like a libertarian at heart. Don't take my money. Why do all these celebrities, why don't they just use the tens of millions of dollars that they're saving now to do something about it? You have, complete, for lack of a better term, psychopaths, like the guy who's running all the anti-Trump ads on television, the impeach Trump ads. He spent 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 million dollars on impeach Trump ads to get 3 million people to sign up to some form that doesn't matter. Use that money to help these families you're talking about, to help the people that you think aren't being helped. It makes no sense whatsoever. And when it comes to the Democratic values and the Republican values outside of the identity politics, you have one side, which I tend to agree with, more like libertarian values. I'm not a full-on libertarian because I know it's pretty unrealistic to an extent. But why do the people that say government's corrupt want to make the government more powerful? If Donald Trump ran Democrat and Donald Trump won Democrat and Donald Trump was a Democrat, he would be 10 times as scary because he'd be sucking in all the power and he'd be doing things like Obama did. I mean, Obama raised taxes. When you raise taxes on everybody, that takes more of your money away and puts it into the hands of the government. That makes big government bigger. And I don't understand why no celebrities realize that. Obama put a mandate, which is recently I found out I'm very excited about, was taken out of with the tax bill, a mandate that said everybody had to have insurance. It was mandatory insurance, and if you don't pay insurance, you get fined. I mean, that's like enslaving someone. You have to pay for this. You're forced this insurance policy that you don't want, that's raising 300% every year. You have to pay it, and if you don't pay it now, you pay there, you pay, we're going to fine you anyway. That's like financial enslavement. That's the Democratic Party. The Republican Party, regardless of what you think of the tax bill, that was a mandate in the tax bill. So now I'm excited about it because I think insurance is the biggest. I know it's a scam. I just went to the doctor and I got charged full price, and I pay a couple $100s a month. So why am I getting charged to charge? That's what the Democratic Party does. They use the media. They use celebrity culture like a bunch of useless morons. I'm not going to name names, but pretty much all of them, besides any ones that speak out. They use them to make this whole narrative about the Democrats and the Republicans that never happened. It's not true now. It wasn't true a couple hundred years ago. If you want to go back to slavery, it was Republican Abraham Lincoln who freed the slaves. It was not the Democrats. You want to go back to Lyndon Johnson, you could look at some quotes he talked about people of color. They're disgusting and disturbing. was a Democrat, and I don't even care about the two-party system. To me, it's a big, contest and distraction, but when you get down to the core values, the Democrats are the ones raising the taxes. They're taking more power. They're taking more control. They're doing sneaky things. And you get Meryl Streep, and she's like, well, I got this award, and Trump is so mean to me. Why didn't you say anything a couple years ago when a very popular and powerful African leader, Gaddafi, was killed while he was trying to empower a lot of his people? At least have a debate about it, whether you think he's good or bad. You didn't say a single thing. ISIS ran rampant over a bunch of countries. People's health insurance were going up 500-600%, and it was a mandatory. Imagine if Trump put in some order where you were forced to buy something you didn't want to buy, and they fined you if you didn't want to buy it. Nothing about celebrity culture makes sense. They're a bunch of idiotic hypocrites who just can't even have a functional conversation, and they're not even trying to hide it anymore. I posted, or if you scroll down on my page after this is done, I posted a post from the Democratic Party's official Twitter, and they're saying, we need more Latino women. We need more Muslim women. We need more disabled women. We need more black women. We need more Jewish women. They named like every single woman except for white women, Christian women, Catholic women. They named every race under the sun except for Irish or Italian or whatever, white. I wouldn't even talk about, I got a phone call in, but they used everything under the sun. And it's like, is that not racism? Imagine if a Republican, even if it was the GOP, they said, oh, we need these type of women, even if they said the same exact thing, whatever happened to the content of their character? Isn't that what Martin Luther King said? And any sort of intelligent, half-decent person of any race, religion, or gender, it doesn't matter what, they're just using you. Oh, I'm going to watch the Golden Globes, so now everybody besides me is racist. No, they're using you. If you have darker skin, they're using your emotions based on history and the present and the past and the future. They're using you to take more of your money. They're not using you to say, oh, we need more Latino women and black women and Jewish women. They're not doing it because they care about Jewish or black or Latino women. They know, first of all, they know women are easy to confuse because, not to be gender biased or whatever someone will say, women deal heavily on emotions. And, not all women, everybody's different, but they know how women are very caring and very loving. So they know that people that have a hard history are very emotional. So they use people for those things, not to empower them, but to make big government bigger. They're doing these things to take more of your taxes. They're doing these things to push these unconstitutional mandates that take more of your money, to empower the pharmacy industry, to get votes to do that, to get votes to line their pockets, to get votes to make them more powerful. They're not doing it for any other reason. So they're everything that they claim not to be. They're racist, they're sexist, they're xenophobic, they're hateful, and they claim that they're stopping hate, xenophobia, and race. If you're not racist, you're not going to make this tweet saying, I need specific races of people to win elections. That's racism. If you say, we need more white people to win elections, that's racist. If you say, we need more black people to win elections, that's racist. If you say, we need women to win elections, that's sexist, just like it would say we need men to win. I mean, that's what sexism and racism is. These people are disgusting hypocrites. Nearly all of the Golden Globes, nearly all of the Democrats, and all of the celebrity culture that act like they have this moral high ground, they don't care about content of character. I don't care about race. I have friends and people that are Muslim, black, white, Latino. I don't even like talking about it because it's ignorant to me to even have this conversation, because a lot of the times the people that talk about it a lot, they're the most racist ones acting like they're not racist. It's disgusting. But for lack of, I have to talk about it because this is their whole game, their identity politics. They don't care about the content of people's character. When I have a friend, they're not a token friend just so I could say I have a friend that's a different ethnicity or religion than me. I do it because I like who they are. I like the person that they are. I like things that they do. I like the content of their character. The Democratic Party and now the Huffington Post and Vox and New York Times and Washington Post and MSNBC and CNN, they don't care about the content of people's character. They don't care about who people truly are. They don't care about, let's find the best people. I don't care if they're Jewish, Muslim, Christian, white, black, Latino, Asian. Let's get the best people, the nicest people, the most competent people, the most fair people, the most honest people, the people that are going to empower the people the most. They don't want that. They want people that they can manipulate, that will vote for them. And ideologically, it just makes no sense to me. Like I said, for celebrities, the politicians they support take more of their taxes. Now that the tax cut, especially the big thing that everyone's saying is, well, rich people are going to get more taxes back. So how many tens of millions of dollars are all of the people at the Golden Globes? What are they going to do with their tax breaks? Why do they want to give that money to the federal government, who clearly won't use it properly? And these same people will say that the government's corrupt. Nothing about it makes sense. And just because they wear black or, act like they have some sort of moral and social high ground, we're just not buying it anymore. So I'm not watching the Golden Globes today. I'm not watching it tomorrow. Like I said, the media in general, including television and movies, unfortunately, some of it's entertainment, some of it's creative and important. There's definitely movies like The Matrix, which have grandiose statements about society, and Black Mirror and many other. I watched Tim Allen's show. It's a cool show too. There's a lot of good shows, but the TV, not only celebrity culture, like you see that 99.9% of them act and think and talk the same way, even though nothing. If I had a debate with them, they wouldn't be able to even hang with me because nothing that they say actually makes sense. Like I would, if they were really helping people, I would be like, that's great. But nothing they say is going to help people. They're literally just going to take more money, more power, more control away from people, while our federal government runs rampant overseas, starting all these wars that they never care about, because all they care about are their non-important feelings that don't even line up with reality. So not only politically, they're all just a bunch of fraudulent liars who want to take more of your taxes, more of your government. They want things like habeas corpus to be overturned, which happened during the Obama administration, which basically said people can be jailed without a right to a fair trial. This type of stuff's happening in Germany and overseas. Hate speech now is like a literal felony in other places. So if you don't agree with the mainstream narrative, that's hate speech, and they'll literally arrest you and throw you into jail for 10 months for just disagreeing with the federal government. This is happening in Europe. We can't let this happen here. And meanwhile, the Democratic Party and these people, they're a PR team. While they literally attack people based on their race, religion, and gender, they're a PR team for the most corrupt politicians in the world and some of the most extremist ideologies in the world, which have led to tens of millions of deaths, which has led to slavery in Libya, which has led to ISIS in Syria and Iraq. They not only don't say anything about these ideologies, they don't question these ideologies, they don't tell you the truth about these ideologies that are enslaving people in 2018. They want to talk about slavery 200 years ago, which if you want to look at the history books, it was never the Democrats who freed the slaves, it was the Republicans. But they use history, they twist history to lie to people. They keep people away from the present moment, which is slavery exists now because of two Democratic politicians, especially Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, who admittedly went into Libya, killed the leader of Libya, let radical terrorism of a certain religious ideology, you know which one it is, and they say nothing about it. What have they said about it? They said, we need more Muslim women to be Democrats because then we could easily manipulate people and then we could convince all sorts of races that they're the same as these people. Like, they're so disgusting. And I'm not a hater. I just had my Muslim friend on my podcast to talk about the true dangers of the radical terrorism that does exist. And he's talking about it, and the news won't even talk about it. I have friends that are Muslim that live down the street who say the Democrats and the left wing scare me the most because if you don't take care of this issue, which is happening overseas, it's going to be my people who suffer in the future, and I'm afraid they're going to do some type of internment camp thing in 10, 15 years because the problem's going to get really out of hand because nobody's solving it. And the Democratic Party is a PR team for terrorists. They're literally a public relations team for terrorists. And that includes CNN, Washington Post, New York Times, MSNBC, Vox, Huffington Post, Salon. They're a public relations team for the most disgusting, dishonest politicians in the world who have stole billions, if not trillions of dollars from the federal government. You look at the Obama administration and the Bush administration, and there's mainstream articles. It's not a conspiracy theory. This is in the Washington Post and other publications. Oh, $125 billion missing from the federal budget. $125 billion missing? And they act like it's a big deal when Trump wants to do something for $10 billion. Give me a effing break. But they're a public relations team for the most foul politicians. They didn't tell you that the leader of Libya was killed and that slavery is now and organ harvesting is a part of Libyan lifestyle because of their failed policies and because of a radical religion that has taken over the region. Not only do they not tell you about that, but then they use these people as political pawns to try to get more votes. These people are disgusting. The celebrities are disgusting. Why is there not one celebrity who just says, hey, like, I think Riff Raff, and if people know the hip-hop community and Riff Raff, he's a very controversial figure. He's a white kid from Texas. He's all tatted up. He has golden grills and stuff. He's a very funny, entertaining guy. Riff Raff, if you guys know who he is. He's the only celebrity I've ever seen just make a simple statement. He said, which politician is going to tax me less? I'm getting like $300,000 a year taken from me, $400,000 a year. Which politician's going to tax me less? Why does there's hundreds of thousands of celebrities. Why does none say, hey, I'm going to save taxes now? Who's going to take less of my money? I mean, are these people even real people? I'm not even convinced they're real people, because if there's thousands of people and you're telling me there's only 1, 2, or 3, or 4, or 5 celebrities that speaks out and says, hey, I'm not a Democrat, like, I like lower taxes. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, maybe 4, 5 celebrities, that's it. James Woods, yeah, I mean, that's like, he's a rock star now on Twitter because he tells like a basic fundamental truth. The rest of them are just complete followers. I don't understand how there's not more. It makes absolutely no sense to me. And all of this stuff they're talking about, that's why last time Meryl Streep went on her rant, I made a, hey, this is the truth to the Meryl Streep rant, and my video got 8 million views. It probably got more video views than any video Meryl Streep's done in a long time. I'm sure she has movies that have been seen more than me. I know it, but the world's changing. People are tired of the BS. And if you can grandstand on a microphone, why doesn't somebody debate me? Let's talk about Libya. Let's talk about Syria. Let's talk about slavery. Let's talk about Muslim people. Let's talk about Christians. Let's talk about Jewish people. Let's talk about women. Let's talk about taxes. Let's talk about government control. Let's talk about corruption. Let's talk about freedom of speech. I'm down to talk about all this stuff, but none of these people, and I'm not just talking about celebrities, I'm talking about high-level progressive or liberal news voices that have like 1/8 of the following of me or half the following of me or a similar following to me. They don't want to talk to me. I've talked to one of my progressive friends and I said, hey, let's have a debate. They cursed me out because they know ideologically they can't mess with me. They can't hang with what I'm saying because their whole opinions are based on racism, sexism, all the things they act like they're standing against. I don't have a racist bone in my body, so I'm not afraid to have a debate. But these people are so racist in the name of not being racist. I mean, look at the Democratic Party's tweet. These people aren't even hiding it anymore. And then somehow we're supposed to watch the Golden Globes and act like it's, oh man, the media is a total psyops. And to go even further on that, the reason nobody knows what's going on, sometimes I talk about a current event that's happening. And I say, hey, did you know that this is happening? Did you know that they're selling weapons and, you know, our funds, like our taxpayer funds, you know how they take all the money out of your paycheck? And people are like, yeah. You know how, like, you're 30% less rich every year because they steal your money? And, oh, yeah, totally, yeah, I know about taxes. Well, did you know there's taxpayer dollars, that there's Democratic congresswomen saying that our taxpayer dollars are going to fund terrorists? Did you know that? And then they're like, oh, that sounds like a movie I saw. Oh, that sounds like a TV show. Do you think it could be happening? Yeah, I know it's happening because they wrote the TV show based on reality. It's like they have people so mentally enslaved that they're taking their tax money and then writing movies about what's really happening. And they're like, do you think that's really happening? It's like, of course, that's why they made the show. It's like they got this Tom Cruise new movie. They're like, Tom Cruise sells drugs and weapons to, across border lines. And people are like, oh man, Tom Cruise, that's cool. No, that's like their soft way of telling you that's what they're doing. And they're trying to make it sexy and glorify it. I mean, some of these celebrities are scum. They glorify meth. They glorify gangsters who sell cocaine and all of this stuff. They do that because that's what they're doing. So when you find out that they're trafficking billions of dollars of cocaine to other countries and they're the ones who made the crack epidemic in the streets, you want to talk about racism? Look how the crack even got to the streets. There's many reports from George Webb that it was our government that was funneling in all the cocaine to the inner cities. Talk about racism. Oh, do you think that could have happened? Yeah, I know it happened. That's how they get people. And then they make these movies, they make these TV shows that they're not documentaries, they're not factual things, they're fictional stories that they take something that happened in history, they tweak it so it makes them look glorified or it hides what's really going on. Then you go out, watch these movies, then you go and watch the Golden Globes to see your favorite TV star win the award for the fake show. She's a fake person pretending to be another fake person on a television show or a movie that's scripted based on reality but tweaked to basically make you a complete moron. That's why I'm not watching the Golden Globes, because it's all a psyops, from their politics to the shows they put out. Not just their opinions, but their whole life is a lie. They'll sell anything. Find me one celebrity that won't sell you a pharmacy pill or anything just for a few bucks. They're on every network. I've never heard of one celebrity be like, hey, I don't want to be on Fox News or MSNBC because they're selling, crazy depression pills to people. They don't care. And I don't care anymore because I've sat and watched this hypocrisy for a long time. I played along. I played dumb. Not really. I was always making songs and stuff about it. But at what point is it going to be not cool anymore to just hate on the president and to hate on America and the stuff that they're hating on and the politicians that they support are 50 times worse than anything they've talked about? Oh, President Trump hurt my feelings. Well, guess what? He's saving you $5 million this year in taxes. So take that money, take your feelings, and then use it towards something beneficial that will help children or people that are underprivileged in any way, shape, or form that you feel is a good cause. I just don't get anything about anything that celebrities talk about. And to be honest, I don't think they know what they're talking about either. So they have to just block themselves and shield themselves in this whole fake reality that doesn't exist. But guess what? That fake reality is melting and melting and melting and melting and melting. It's not there. The matrix has been shattered. Along with the president, along with the internet, along with revolutionary people, whether they be left-leaning or right-leaning, the matrix is shattering. This fake reality, smoke and mirrors, no wonder why these people don't like the president. Their whole life is literally smoke and mirrors. Their whole life is literally fake. It's like, I'm going to play a fake person on TV, I'm going to get makeup done, they're going to film me, and then they're going to digitally edit my body so I look unrealistic, and then you see them in the street, and they're like, 5'4", and they're like, they don't look anything like they did on the TV screen. It's because there's millions of dollars. They literally not only aren't being themselves on television, but they're digitally manipulating themselves so they look better than you. I mean, I wouldn't care if it was just entertainment. I don't care, but TV and movies, it's never been just entertainment. Just like the news has never been the news. It's a big psyops to control every part of your life. And I wouldn't care if it was just controlling us to keep us in order. You know what I'm saying? I'm not unrealistic. I'm trying to break everything. Some people are like, let's break the Federal Reserve so there's no money and money doesn't exist. It's like, no thanks. I'll pass. I'm good with the money system because I'm not trying to die and go full savage and kill somebody over a banana. I'll pass on that sort of anarchy. I'm not an anarchist and I'm not an extreme libertarian. in that sense. But when it comes to the type of propaganda they're pushing over the last couple of years, it's unfathomable, it's unimaginable, it's record-breaking. And the propaganda they're pushing, it leads to a radical ideology taking over the entire globe. It leads to rampant racism and sexism and complete destruction of the modern family. It leads to complete destruction of spirituality. It leads to complete destruction of everything that's made the United States of America the United States of America. Yes, we have flaws, but no, I don't want to end up like Germany. Well, first of all, look at Germany's past. I mean, we act like, oh, the Germany and the UK, all the politicians say that. We're disagreeing with our allies, the Germany and the UK. We left the UK to make the United States of America the United States of America. That's why we left. We would still be the UK if we wanted to be controlled by kings and queens. When it comes to Germany, excuse me, but their track record is not that great. Just go back 50, 60 years ago. It's the same people you accuse the president of being. You're like, why are we disagreeing with the Germany and UK? Because they have hate speech laws. If you say something that offends somebody, they throw you in jail. And half the time, they're telling the truth. I'm not hateful. I don't hate a single religion, race, gender, none of that. God bless everybody. It's all love. But when there's, 100, 200, 300, 400 million people with a radical ideology of global domination and complete destruction of everything that we love in the United States, including, most importantly, the freedom of speech, which is not around in many countries that are taken over by radical ideology. They don't have freedom of speech because it's against what they implement. We will lose everything. And that's what these people want. They can't have a discussion. They just want to shut people up. And we're not doing that here. I'm sorry, because hate speech to me sounds like Meryl Streep. Hate speech to me sounds like watching the Golden Globes and watching all these disgusting hypocrites talk. Hate speech to me sounds like reading the Huffington Post. I mean, find me a more racist paper than the Huffington Post and Vox. Good luck. They're the racist ones. I don't care what race people are, religion, gender. I don't care. I just don't like seeing ignorant stereotypes and just, disgusting content. I don't care who it is. If it was against Latino people or anything, but it's like we don't even address the issues. Like first of all, I'm part Latino. Second of all, it's not like they say, okay, let's protect Latino people. Let's protect Latino people worldwide and in America. But let's talk about the issues. They just make this blanket statement, and it's like every American is the most terrible person in the world, and every woman that doesn't agree with me is terrible, and every man should die because they're a man. But every Muslim in the world is perfect, and there's no such thing as a bad Muslim person, and every Latino person, and every Mexican person, and every, they don't even talk about Central and South America. They're probably so racist that they don't understand that every Latino and American is not Mexican. That's how racist they are. They probably don't even know that Central and South America exists. But they're like, there's no such thing as a bad criminal Latino. They don't exist. If it's so great, why don't you go to Mexico or go to Venezuela? No one wants to live there because it's not that great. No offense. I'm not saying it's terrible. I'm sure there's beautiful parts of Mexico, and in some cases, I'm sure Mexico has better elements than America. I'm not hating on the country, but I'm just saying it's ridiculous to say that the American is at fault for everything in the world. I mean, talk to somebody from Mexico. I have family from Mexico, born and raised, and they say nobody's more racist than Latino people. And I know this because I play soccer with people who don't even speak English. I'm not saying they're racist, but I played soccer for 15 years. Argentinian people hate Mexican people. Mexican people hate Argentinian people. They're all racist against each other for no reason. Like, I'm just trying to play soccer, and they're yelling at each other based on their ethnicity. So it's moronic. The point of what I'm trying to say, to someone said I'm babbling BS now. Nothing I said was BS. It's all very factual and real. But can we talk about Latinos and Muslims and black, white, whatever? Can we talk about the problems without throwing blanket statements and just ignoring all of what makes us a successful country in many aspects? There's many situations I want to improve in the United States. I think the food industry is a complete disgrace. I think the pharmacy industry is a complete disgrace. For the best country in the world, we need to step up our food and our pharmacy. industries. We need to step up ourselves. We need to not play, the card that it's everyone else's fault, and fix our own communities and our own families and our own selves before we change the whole world. But to be like these celebrities and the I group everybody in, because there's a whole force now that just has no common sense. It's like the whole celebrity class, like the Golden Globes. Everybody, pretty much everyone there, except for like Tim Allen and Riff Raff in the corner. Like, these people are crazy. I'm sure there's a lot that just they won't say how they feel because they don't want to get completely shunned. But to those people, I say, speak up. Why are you hiding now? I mean, at this point, who cares? You'll be more successful, more rich, and more famous if you just tell the truth. Because there's hundreds of millions of people, if not billions of people worldwide. I have followers and listeners from all over the place, because real people are real people. Good people are good people. There's good people everywhere. It's not an American thing. Everybody's sick of the BS. But the celebrity culture, the mainstream media, pretty much all of television, the Democratic Party, they're all basically one big group that just makes absolutely no sense. They are racist, they're sexist, they're xenophobic against themselves and other people, and they claim to be standing up for a bunch of people that they're not actually standing up for. It's like they want everyone to be weak so they could take more of our taxes, take more of our money, take more control, be the ones helping us like we're little pigeons, like, oh, here's some bread, here's some bread. We don't need your help. We're not victims. And you're certainly not making any sort of sense when you say, oh, Jewish women, Latinoism, Muslim women, we need them to vote for us. I mean, they're not even hiding, the Democratic Party, they're not even hiding their racism anymore. And you have Keith Ellison, who's smiling with an Antifa book right next to his teeth. I mean, these people are showing their true colors. Everyone's showing their true colors. That's what I love about this time. It's like everybody's showing who they really are. And some people are a lot uglier than I thought I were. Because it's easy to pretend like you're a good person and just like hide in the corner, but when everything comes out, you're finding out who the strong people are, who the weak people are, who the very nice and caring and kind people are, who the delusional people are, who the cowardly people are, who know what they're doing is completely wrong, but they're just following society. I mean, I have conversations with people all the time. Most people know what I'm saying is completely true, and nobody more than that than a lot of people from other countries and places, because it's a lot of the people that are brainwashed to the full extent. It's not like they're racist and American or whatever. They're American and kind of indoctrinated by all this stuff. But if you come from other places, whether it be Pakistan or South America or Africa, you know the truth. You know what family structure is. You know what spirituality is. So you're not confused by all this. But anyway, people know I'm telling the truth, but they'll tell me when the cameras are off and say, I know you're telling the truth, but it's just like, I know my company's racist, and I know that's how it is, but they're such followers, they just do it anyway, because it's like what everyone else is doing. People are afraid to go against the grain, but the going against the grain is now, it's going to shift. It always goes too far left, too far right. If we went too far right, I would be talking about all this other stuff, but we're too far left, to the point where, I mean, this is how true terrible regimes start. This is how true mental slavery starts, when you think you're acting under your free will, but you're really working on behalf of these people who just want to take more of your taxes. And this has gone far enough, I think, for the most part. I'm not watching the Golden Globes. I don't own a TV. First of all, television and movies, in my opinion, are overrated. Binge watching, it's not that great. I like more factual stuff, and a lot of these fake pseudo-factual stuff are literally just psyops to get you from realizing what true history was. So no disrespect, people, I like sports and other things that people say, why do you even watch those? So everyone's got their own thing, but the Golden Globes politically, they're a bunch of hypocritical liars. I can't even fathom ever watching these things again. I think their whole industry is kind of collapsing and evolving into a more real thing, and it's time to embrace it. And I would love to see a lot of these Hollywood people, some of the people, because I know Andrew Bogut as well. He's a LA Laker. I think he just got released. But I've been looking at his tweets, and I'm like, you know what? He's red-pilled, and he's really awake. There's got to be a lot of people that are just like sitting in the corner, like, any second they're just ready to speak the truth. So much love to you guys. Much love to everybody. God bless everybody. From every country, every ethnicity, whatever, it doesn't matter. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to post my links below to my shirts. If you'd like to buy one, it's dreamrare.com. Also, my email list is free. I'm going to send one out next week. And also, my donation link. Thank you guys for supporting. It enables me to do more stuff. I'm about to launch a news website. Very, very excited about that. News website, more honest content, to the point news, good energy, uplifting, optimistic news, not this hateful, pseudo, low energy crab news of like, I'm better than you and I'm racist, but I'm not racist. There's going to be no racism in my my news website. There's going to be no sexism. There's going to be no hate. It's just going to be all good vibes and honest content that people can enjoy. So thank you again. My throat's still a little sore, but I'm still packing along. Have a good week, and just stay tuned for more videos. I'm going to do a big video tomorrow or the next day.